Yes, I am Todd Allen Fisher from 5geeks.blog, and with me is Kervin.
Hi, my name's Kervin. I'm the owner of ForWhyGames. We're an indie board game publisher, and that's what I've been doing. I've been designing a board game, and our game published last month, and I'm super excited about it.
Awesome. Tell me about that game. What's it called? What do you do?
It's called Allow Me to Mansplain. It's a mansplaining party game that places emphasis on things that men say before they mansplain. Things like, if you were prettier, maybe someone would have told you, or at least my mother knows. And your goal is to get your partner to guess what you're mansplaining.
That's awesome. That sounds cool. So you get like cards with this, and you have to do those things. That's a good party game right there. Maybe with some beers involved. So have you done any games before that?
This is my first one.
Cool. Here's a question. Do you have any plans for any other games coming up?
Oh, yeah. There's a bunch of prototypes that are like in the works. But like I started this about like a year ago. I had the idea for the board game a year ago. And I was just like, I woke up wanting to buy just a mansplaining game. And then I got online and like there was none. There was none that I thought would be remotely fun. And I was like complaining about it. And one of my friends said, why don't you just make it?
Yeah.
I was like, I guess. And then so I made a prototype. And then I started to tell people about it. And they're like, oh, that sounds like fun. I want to play it. So I had to like pretend to make a prototype. And then that turned into them loving it, saying, when can we buy it? So I had to learn how to like design a game, manufacture, whole thing. And then halfway through the journey, I decided to start making TikToks about it. And so my TikToks just talk about like how I went from, I had an idea for a board game to it's here now. And now what do I do?
Well, that's awesome. Yeah. So is your game actually now available?
Yeah, it's now available. So like originally, it's cards, and we wanted to do an embroidered pouch, and we ended up making the components ourselves because we wanted the games to be made in America, and most games are not made here. Mm-hmm. And then I went to a trade expo where retailers wanted to carry my game, and so I didn't want to do a box originally because boxes are really expensive. But then we designed a box, and the box got here 2 weeks ago. So yeah, the game's like available for purchase on our website.
So it'd be similar to buying like a Cards Against Humanity game. You get the box, you get the cards in it, and a little sheet of instructions kind of thing.
Kind of, yeah. There's a points card, and we actually, the logo for our game was based off of a comic POW bubble, like the POW thwap, because it's just like arguing.
Yeah.
And we made these little tokens out of resin that you use to like keep score of your points.
Awesome. I will probably have to pick your brain because I don't know how many times I have done the 95% of the work, but not the extra 5% that it may take. Well, it's probably more than that, actually. I don't know. To get your game fixed and published and ready to actually be on sale.
It was a huge process. Like I completely underestimated time, effort, energy, and brain power. But I'm so glad I did, though.
So it's another 100% of work. It sounds like what I'm up against if I'm going to try and market any of my stuff.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Awesome. So what is your the game that you've got coming up that you're most excited about?
I mean, it's that one. Like, so the craziest part about like my process was I didn't want to talk about my game, like the theme or the title of it, while I was making it. So I started making TikToks September of last year, and then I think I announced like what my game was about in March. And I built a following before a fairly decent following for board game TikTok before people ever knew what the game was. And now that it's here, I have so much videos that I just want to like flood the internet of people just playing the game.
So tell us your TikTok, everybody. Yeah, so they can follow you.
Yeah, so my TikTok handle is ForWhyGames. It's ForWhy Games.
Awesome.
It's the name of my game as well. I never in a million years thought I would get more than 1,000 followers. And then ever since I did, I'm like, why not shoot for 10 and and see what happens?
There you go. I hopped on the board and became a fan, and I am going to ride your coattails as much as I can. And maybe we'll do some more stuff in the future as well. So you've got your game coming up that's that you're really excited about. But you don't want to talk about some of the games that you.
Well, no, all the other games are like really early in the prototype. Like
Yeah.
Like I had like there are ideas that like work in my head, but as soon as you start like getting pieces to figure out like what works or doesn't work, I've had a whole year to think about like marketing ideas for like how I want to do with my game. And so like one of the coolest things about my game is that we released it with 4 expansions. The majority of our playtesters were African American women. And so they were like, we would like an expansion. I was like, sure. So I made them an expansion. But I also made a cosplay and a politics expansion. And one of the marketing things I wanted to do was like, because there's a history of like misogyny in like cosplay with the whole cosplay not consent. Like I did a whole, one of the designers that I worked with is a huge cosplayer in Texas, and she loves to, and she does like panels, and she does panels on like how to do like battle damage makeup and how to like attach horns for your cosplay things. And so I wanted to go to like cosplay conventions and kind of like do a panel and like talk about, integrate like my game within the cosplay community that way. And if there's one thing I'm really excited about is like figuring out how to do that now that my game is finally here.
Yes, that's pretty cool. I like those expansion sets too. Like I could see those. You could just take those to any convention. You didn't go to Comic-Con and just start showing that stuff off. You could get a table and stuff at those places. I think that kind of, because I know like in working conventions and stuff, like after the convention, there's an after party that would go perfect at that after party. So yeah, that's something you need to buy and then go straight off and go party with.
Yeah, it's just hard because it's like I still have like my full-time job, right? And this is more of just like a side gig to see whatever happens, and just trying to find like time, energy, and just time off to be able to do that. So we started to focus locally first with like local conventions. I'm from Houston. I'm in Texas. And then kind of like work our way and kind of see what happens from there.
All right. Well, that sounds like a cool place too. And I know Houston has a lot of cool bars and things that actually would probably, there's like gaming bars and stuff that they have around there that would be really cool to have that just sitting on the shelf there, So, yeah, it's been great talking to you. I'd like to see more of you. And if you guys want to see more, check out the TikTok for sure. And be ready to jump into this full geek.
Thank you so much for having me, Todd.
All right. Thank you for coming on. And we'll see you guys later. Have a good one.